Sir, I'm an elected president. The parliament is elected. The members of the parliament are elected. My foreign minister sitting before you is an elected foreign minister, and you know democracy more than I do. I don't think any democracy would allow any foreign element to do action in your land. So therefore, we begrudge it in that sense. We would love to own the equipment. We would love them to share it with us, make it part of our police force, make it part of my arsenal, so that when it flies under the flag of Pakistan, manufactured, taking orders from Pakistan soldiers, from the political will of Pakistanis, then there is no question of any objection to it. We've been using higher power in the same area, and we have not been condemned or questioned for it, because it is our right, it is our land. It is only because it's this technology we do not possess, and we would love to possess it. We've asked for it, we are again asking for it, and hopefully we will get it. And once we have it, then we won't have the need for anybody else to be manning it, we'll man it ourselves. Thank you.
Gentleman in the second row here.
Mr. President, my name is Asif. I'm representing the Nuaiva Group of Newspapers, Pakistan here. My question is that there is a trust deficit on your government by the donors and the investors in Pakistan who want to invest in Pakistan. What steps you are taking to build this confidence, and don't you think that the trial of President Musharraf can build this confidence? Thank you.
Well, it's a question of perception, my friend. I don't think there's any trust deficit between our government and the world. Our books are open, and we want modern technology to assist, to help. Therefore, the card that we've named after my late wife, the Women Emancipation and Poverty Elevation card, happens to be a favorite of the donors, and the world has given democracy more support than it had given the dictator. And I must acknowledge that on this forum, including Britain, United States, and all the other countries. And then the trial of Musharraf could bring more stability or more aid. I would reserve my comments on that and let the people decide.
Yes, the man in the glasses there with the blue tie. Yes, sir.
George Harnett, a student member of the Institute. You said trade not aid, a sentiment which I'm sure most of us here applaud. And you highlighted the European Union's protectionist policies as preventing you from developing your economy. Could you highlight some areas in which the European Union's trade protectionism is particularly damaging, and some markets in which you would most like to trade to enhance your economy to help you fight terrorism and help us fight terrorism?
For example, fish. At the moment, fish export from Pakistan is not welcome in the European Union. We are working on a mechanism. They have promised to help. But let's bring it down to cotton, which is our major export. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and other countries are my competitors. They compete for the same markets, but they have an edge over Pakistan because they're defined as underdeveloped, and Pakistan is defined as a developed or developing nation. So that's a gap which I feel that from 8 billion, we could go to 36 billion or 40 billion as far as cotton is concerned, and the future of the world is cotton. People, humanity, everybody appreciates cotton. It's a more synthetic fiber. So that, to give you two examples. These are two examples.
Yes, the person, light blue tie. Yes, you, sir.
So, Rudra Chaudhary from King's College, across the road. I was just wondering, with regards to Afghanistan again, you talked about getting regional countries together and building confidence, and I noticed Dr. Chipman mentioned Central Asia, Iran, but the one country you missed was India. What role do you see for India and Afghanistan, given that historically this has always been a place which Pakistan has seen as part of its so-called strategic depth?
Obviously, you missed my the first meeting that we had of Democratic Friends of Pakistan in the United Nations, and I did mention in that we hope that India also joins us in this Friends of Pakistan. And India is a very important country on our border. It's our neighbor. We want to coexist. We want to trade with India. We want to take advantage of the 1.2 billion population in India, and especially the 250 million, 300 million, which are affluent Indians today. So we would love to trade and improve our relations with India. And of course, any regional solution will have an Indian dimension also. We wouldn't mind if the world consults India too.
Yes. Right in the back, yes, you, sir, and then the one in front of you.
Hassan Ahmad Bukhari, I'm a cabinet member in Nottingham City Council. President, you have just completed your first year in the government, and your government is already being accredited for breaking the backbone of terrorism. Also, I think that the other success which is people are talking about is building a wider consensus of democratic forces in Pakistan, and Pakistan looks a lot more stable and confident country today than what it was when you took over. Could you tell us that how important is the issue of Kashmir to bring a long-lasting peace in the Southeast Asia?
I mean, Kashmir has been a point on the agenda of the United Nations for the last 61 years. So Kashmir is, we've gone to war with India thrice on the issue of Kashmir. So I feel Kashmir is important to regional peace, not just the situation, but regional peace and our future generations to come in our thinking towards India and India's thinking towards Pakistan. So there has to be a peaceful solution to the issue of Kashmir.
Yes.
Alex Stevenson, politics.co.uk. If there was a single practical measure that you could take, that you could ask coalition forces in Afghanistan to take to improve some of the border issues on the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, what would it be?
As a politician, I can give you an answer, but this is a tactical answer, and the tactical question needs to be answered by somebody more aware of the situation. But I would appreciate if we could, somehow sort of man the borders better. The crossroad that people interact and come and go. We've tried the electronic monitoring system, but somehow Afghanistan and ourselves have not been able to come to understanding on that. We are trying still, and we are meeting again. My Interior Minister and the Interior Minister of Afghanistan are about to meet soon in the next month after the elections results are in, to see what mechanisms we can derive to at least monitor or account for the people crossing over.
And there was one other, I think, here. You've had one already. So, yes, yes, the woman there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Marcia Poole from Amnesty International. Mr. President, we had here at the Institute Dr. Maliha Lodi back in June. And at the time she was addressing the security environment, in the context of Pakistan and Afghanistan and American foreign policy. She said then that she felt that President Obama had good ideas, but he didn't truly have a coherent plan yet to tackle the situation. And she was particularly critical of the military options at the time, like, for instance, the drone attacks. Now you're meeting President Obama next week. Do you think he's got a coherent plan? And if not, what would the elements we would like to see in this plan? Thank you.
I think every country has their own indigenous and planning situation, and they have their own roadmap. I have not read President Obama's roadmap to Afghanistan fully, but we are definitely wanting to be part of the solution in Afghanistan. And hopefully, when I meet him next week, we will be discussing the solutions to the Afghan situation.